Okay, so now we're looking at Project 4. Project 4 starts out by asking us to list 5 of our top friends. So I have Natalia, my youngest sister, Susanna, my friend from graduate school, Ashlyn, my best friend since preschool, Kaylee, my friend from my teenage years, and Gabriela, who is another friend from grad school. So we're going to put them in a set. So that is set F contains within it Natalia, Susanna, Ashlyn, Kaylee, and Gabriela in S, A, C, and G. The next step is to find a cross product of F by F, right? So we have both F's, and then I've listed them out nicely, both sets. The cross product of NSACG by NSACG. And in order to get the full we're going to use this to get a list of ordered pairs. And in order to get the full list of ordered pairs, we're going to take N and it's going to go to N, and it's going to go to S, N is going to go to A, N and it's going to go to C, and finally N and it's going to go to G. And then we're going to do the same thing with each of the other letters. This would create a really chaotic rainbow, so I won't do it for all of them, but you can see that you'll place each of them. And I've done that here. You can see that I have a lot of options, right? I like to think of this as I am in a crisis and I feel like I need to make 2 phone calls. I can either call Natalia and then Natalia later, or I can call Natalia and then Susanna, or Natalia and then Ashlyn, and so on. Right? And it matters the order I call them in, because if I called Natalia and Susanna, I'm going to be in different mindset than if I call Susanna and then Natalia. So now we're going to represent this graphically. Ignore the yellow for now. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we're going to represent the cross product of F and F in a graph. So you can see that I've made the x-axis here in SACG. That's the components within the set F, and then also here on the y-axis in S, A, C, and G. And I've plotted the points for each of these up here. For each of the ordered pairs, I've plotted the points just like you would in Algebra 1, right? In, S, in, A, N, C, N, using the x-axis by the y-axis, just like you normally would. And so you see here that despite my graph being a little crooked, you can tell that this is a square, right? And that makes sense because F and F have the same number of elements contained within them, and therefore it's going to be a square. Okay, so that's graph 1. We're asked to create 3 different graphs in this project, so I've decided to make one graphical representation of the cross product of F and F very colorful, right? So I gave each of my people their own color. And then I said, I'm going to put F on this column and F on this column and represent the cross product by distributing that person in their color on the left to the other people on the right column. So you can see that Natalia goes to Natalia, she goes to Susanna, she goes to Ashlyn, Kaylee, and Gabriela. And you can see all the colors and representing, each line representing an ordered pair from the last graphical representation. Ooh, there's Gabriela. Finally, I have the third graphical representation, which is just a basic table, right? You could add lines all the way through here if you so chose, but this is a graphical representation, or a table representation of the ordered pairs, right? Same thing, Natalia by Natalia, Natalia by Susanna, and so on. You read this way as the x-axis and this way as the y-axis, just like you normally would. Okay, so the second part of this project asks me to define, lost my paper, to define a subset of F that is A. So set A contains within it an ordered pair AB that is an element of this cross product F of F that we've learned so much about here in the last few minutes, such that A has known me longer than B. That is, the order matters because A is someone who's known me longer than B. So to do this, I've written a nice little organization chart here for you of how long I've known these people. Natalia, as I said, is my youngest sister. She's 24 and a half years old, so I've known her that long. Susanna is my friend from grad school, but I didn't meet her until the second semester, so I've known her 4.5 years. Ashlyn is my best friend since preschool, so I'm right at 24 years with her next month. Kaylee is a friend from high school, so that's 12 years ago. And Gabriela I met the first day of grad school, so that's exactly 5 years ago in a few weeks. So now again, we're going to try and create the set A, in which contains only ordered pairs of people where the first person knew me longer than the second person. Well, we'll start with Natalia because she's always going to be an A. Natalia can never be a B because no one's ever known me longer than Natalia in this subset. So we have in S, in A, in C, and in G. Then we go on to Ashlyn, right? She's only 6 months behind Natalia or so she has known me longer than everyone. The only case where she will be a B is with Natalia. So then she's a S, a C, and a G. Then we move on to Kaylee, who's known me longer than both Susanna and Gabriela, and then Gabriela, who's known me slightly longer than Susanna. Great, so now we have our set A with these ordered pairs. Now we're going to use some colors to work in set A into our other graphs, right? So let's go back to this first ordered pair graph. Excuse my outtake down there. So I'm going to use this yellow Sharpie to highlight anywhere that's in ordered pair A. Notice that we're not going to highlight in because those would be equal, and we're requiring that A is greater than B. So I've known A longer than B. And if both A and B are Natalia, they would be equal. So they're not in our set. But all the other Natalias are, right? Because I've known her the longest. So we're gonna say here, 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 and here. Then Susanna, none of the Susanna first are gonna be highlighted because I've known her the least amount of time, so she's never an A. Ashlyn, now the Ashlyn Natalia isn't going to be highlighted because I've known Natalia longer, but the Ashlyn Susanna is, not the Ashlyn Kaylee, and Gabriela. Now on to Kaylee. I haven't known her longer than Natalia, so we won't put that one in. I have known her longer than Susanna. That one's in. I have not known her longer than Ashlyn. We don't put Kaylee, but I have known her longer than Gabriela as well. Then last we have Gabriela. Haven't known her longer than Natalia. I have known her longer than Susanna, and we won't do any of the rest of these. So you can see that the yellow representation are all from subset A. Now, this one's a little bit trickier, but I think we can do it. So I'm going to now use, I will use this pencil to circle any of those that would represent any line that would represent an ordered pair that is in subset A. Okay, so notate that here. A is such that the line is circled. Right, it's a little silly, but it makes sense. So again, we don't do Natalia to Natalia, right? Because that's equal. But we do Natalia to everyone else. So this one, that's Natalia to Susanna. This is gonna get a little messy, I can already tell. Natalia to Ashlyn. Natalia to Kaylee, and Natalia to Gabriela. We're gonna keep doing this, right? Susanna to no one, because she's been the shortest amount of time. And then Ashlyn to everyone but Natalia, and but to herself, right? Ashlyn to Susanna, Ashlyn to Kaylee, Ashlyn to Gabriela. This one's a little bit harder to see than the last one, but we kind of get the idea at this point, hopefully. Kaylee will go longer than Susanna, so this one, and longer than Gabriela. And then lastly, the Gabriela to Susanna line will be circled. Cool. So you can see it's a little chaotic, but hopefully you're able to follow my paths. And then lastly, we'll do this representation in graph 3 to really hammer it home. Going back to my yellow marker. We're going to skip anything that's on this diagonal, that is the N, S, S, so forth. But everything else for Natalia, with Natalia first, gets highlighted. Natalia, Susanna, Ashlyn, right? Nothing on the Susanna line. The Ashlyn line gets everything except for herself and Natalia. Kaylee gets Susanna and Gabriela only is the A to Susanna. So you can see now that we've created the cross product F of F. right? With all these many ordered pairs, I'm so blessed. I have so many options of phone calls to make if I'm in a tragedy. So that's the cross product of F and F. And then also we've created another set that is everything within the cross product F of F, in which the ordered pair has someone who I've known longer first and shorter second. So that's these guys, again represented by all these yellow ordered pairs in graph 3, which I think kind of represents it the best. All right, thanks.